set.
Alrighty. Welcome to I Want to Be Your Canary, a Final Fantasy podcast. This is episode 9, where we're talking about the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I am Cullen, who I also identify as Cloud. This is Ross, who also identifies as Zell.
That is not true.
Yes, it is.
That's not true.
Yes, it
and
is.
Wrong Final Fantasy. Good
You
job.
don't get to
And
introduce
this
yourself.
is Scooter,
Hey.
who identifies as Barrett.
Yeah.
Not
So-
true.
Yeah, it is. So
I'm probably like a Vincent, if anything. You're like a
you don't
yuppie.
get
yeah, you do like
You're like yuppie. if
yeah.
anything.
How many
You're not
My
gonna
Chemical
pick your own.
Romance
Oh, yeah,
albums
okay.
do you have?
Yeah.
Oh, that was messy and fun.
Way to screw up the opening.
Oh, please, made it better.
That was a great opening.
That's so
Everybody's so excited now.
Too. Oh, Ross is Zell.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
We're
right.
talking about number 7.
Talk about number 7. Now, we know that 7 has a remake coming out, and it is long sought after.
Oh, yeah.
And oh man, people are excited about it. Back in 2008, I think it was, there was a technical demo that was put out.
2005.
Was that 2005?
2005.
Wow, they put out a technical demo showing the
14
capacity
years ago.
of what the PlayStation 3 graphics would have been able to do with Final Fantasy VII, and it threw people into a frenzy. So, oh my gosh, they're making it, they're doing it, they're redoing Final Fantasy VII. Well, they didn't.
Yeah.
But now they are. As of 2015, there was a teaser release saying that they're remaking the game, and the stars are finally aligning, and it's happening. So this isn't brand new news. We've known about this for a few years. It's 2019 now. We knew about this, and I think it was 2015 when that trailer was released. Yep. So I'm excited about it. I know you guys are excited about it. It's such a great game. And what we're here to talk about today is what we know.
Yep. Sure.
What we know for sure, and doing a little bit of speculation. And what we hope it has and what we hope it doesn't have. What we think they'll ruin, because we know there's something in there that they're probably going to ruin, and there's something that's going to make it great. But this is kind of that speculation show where we have some facts, but we certainly don't have them all.
Yeah.
And that I think that's going to make this one a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to this one. So, Scooter, do you want to kind of just bring us up to speed about Final Fantasy VII?
Sure. So to give us let's go a quick recap on Final Fantasy VII as an original. So the original game was released in 1997, developed by Squaresoft back then. And the game follows, and this is just taken straight from the page, by the way. The game follows Cloud Strife, who is a mercenary who joins an eco-terrorist organization to stop a world-controlling Omega corporation, Shinra, from using the planet's life essence as an energy source. Events send Cloud and his allies in pursuit of Sephiroth, a superhuman intent of destroying their planet. And during this journey, he builds friendships with party members who include Aerith, Barrett, Tifa, all the gang.
Mm-hmm.
Can't forget Katsith.
Can't forget cats. Okay, so Final Fantasy VII as a game received widespread commercial and critical success and remains widely regarded as a landmark title and one of the greatest games of all time. The title won numerous Game of the Year awards and was acknowledged for boosting the sales of PlayStation and popularizing the Japanese role-playing games. Critics praised the graphics, gameplay, music, and story, although some criticism was directed towards its English localization. If you guys remember, some of the translations were a little bit rough.
Yeah, they always are.
So the success led to enhanced ports on various platforms, a multimedia sub-series, which I didn't know about, by the way, called Compilation of Final Fantasy VII.
Yep.
And an upcoming high-definition remake for the PlayStation 4, which is what we are going to talk about right now.
Good. Hey, that's and we're not going to go over the entire game right now and what it has and the mechanics and
No.
That's not our intent today. It's more of a
Let's get the audience and ourselves caught up on where they are with the remake.
all right. So doing some research on this topic, there are a lot of people on the production crew who were on the original 7 who are on the remake as well, including the director, the producer, the writer, artist. There's a lot of people who were really important and critical in the making of 7 who are also on the making of the remake, which brings me a lot of that makes me feel good.
Yes.
It's somebody's gonna have they have the vision's there.
Yes.
The vision is there. They have
original vision.
The original vision is there, and they've come out and said, hey, you know what? We understand how important getting this right is. And I'm saying this in as many words. We understand how important getting this right is. And we're not going to mess with it a whole lot. We're going to give people the Final Fantasy VII that they know. Now, they acknowledge there are things that they are going to change. There are things that are going to be adjusted, so it's not just an updated graphics version of the game. There's things that are going to change.
Right.
And I know that is going to hurt some fans' feelings, I guess, in the way that they feel about it. And it's going to also attract other people into the crowd. So we got some of the same cast, which is awesome. And they've said we're gonna be true to the game when we remake it, but we are going to change some things. There are some things that are going to end up being changed. So that's kind of where we know what we know with some of the production stuff. Now, we also know that Kingdom Hearts 3 has been released.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've started hiring to work on the 7 remake. They've been hiring other people, and they've turned their focus really onto this right now. This is the next big Square Enix project. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
You want to talk about some of the things that we know, some other things that we know, Scooter, as far as like...
So, yeah, just on the production side of stuff, like you're saying, so the important notable ones, Yoshiniro Kitase, I'm going to butcher all these, by the way. So the original director of number 7 is producing Remake. Nomura, who's the main artist in number 7, is coming back to do the remake. So we got 2 huge names right there. Mm-hmm. Nojima, the writer of number 7, is also coming back to rewrite it.
And I am happy about.
And they said, despite there already being a story in place, which greatly simplified production on some fronts, Nojima was brought back in to create new story material.
Yeah.
So that alludes to the game probably getting expanded in my mind. Hamaguchi was also brought back in as another project lead. He served as a programmer for Final Fantasy 13, and I think as a programmer did a pretty good job with that game, if there was anything good to say about it. And of course, Nobuo Uematsu returns to lead music. So
Clutch.
Thank goodness.
There are lots of big names coming back to do the production side of things. And I don't know if you saw that article talking about how Squeenix is starting to really focus in-house in producing this game.
Yep.
They are reducing the number of outside contractors they're working with so they can really control everything about the game. That's a quick rundown of the production side. What else were you thinking here?
Well, we know that the game is going to be released episodically.
So that was another thing, yes. Hey, do you want to watch the trailer real quick? To kind of recap all of us here?
Yeah, throw it on up.
Let me just...
And while that's playing, I'll talk about a little bit about the episodes. They've talked about making these episodes... Pretty much each one is going to be an entire game in itself. So you're not going to be cheated on the length of content that you're going to get.
I thought that was interesting.
I did too. And
all right.
I really think that... do you just want to play that in the background?
Yeah, here. Let me just make sure it's muted for you.
Okay.
I haven't seen this in a while, actually.
One of the things that I feel confident about is they understand the gravity of the situation. They understand... we really can't screw this up. And especially if they're going to do it episodically, there become some issues with that, which we will talk about in this.
It looks good.
Yeah, oh man, it does. It's going to be.
Look at that.
It's going to be great.
Look
it's
at those
going to be.
characters.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
And the modeling and the detail of everything. I mean, the full fleshed out Midgar to walk around in that city.
That Buster Sword.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to describe right now what is kind of being shown on screen.
Yeah, just go watch the 2015 official
Barrett looks like Blade.
teaser trailer.
Just gonna put that in there.
Yeah.
Give him a samurai sword, and he's Blade.
Yeah.
So it automatically looks like some of the components from Tomb Raider, the previous Final Fantasy 15 games is being carried over. The Squeenix is using their engine. I can see that in this trailer.
And here's one of the things that, I want to talk about the episodic release really quick before I talk too much going forward. The episodic release is cool because I think it's going to give a lot of content.
Yes.
But it's also does that mean I got to pay $60 every time a new game comes out?
I would
Right.
imagine so.
And is the stopping point going to be? Is that stopping point going to be where the natural break is in the game? Is
Right. So disc change, basically.
is episode 1 going to be done after Eris, spoiler alert, dies at the end of disc 1? Like, there's
I
going
would
to be.
imagine so.
I feel like there is this episodic thing. There's a couple of things that it can be a problem. There can be a problem with that, I think. And I know that they're smart enough to not let things get too screwed up because they're the ones doing this and they're geniuses at what they do. But how do they compensate with increase in technology? Is the first episodic release of the game going to look very different and going to look very blocky and not as good as the last one because they're going to implement different technological changes as they come? Are the first two going to be on PS4 and then the third one or whatever is going to be on the PS5 whenever that comes out? How are they going to adjust for things like that?
So there isn't a firm release date yet. Has it said it's going to be released for PS4? Because I would imagine it'd be yes.
So, yeah. And I can give you quotes here from what they've been talking about. But, keep going.
Because I would just imagine that, I guess, so the first one that comes out, first episode, I'd imagine if it is, since it says it's going to be released for PS4, I'd imagine it's going to be also released on the next gen platform as well. By the time it releases,
Yeah.
I think that's going the next gen platform. I think is going to, there's just around the corner. Honestly,
The announcements will likely be soon. And
Which is funny because I feel like PS4 just came out.
So something on that note, though, on episodic stuff, just to compare it and contrast it to Final Fantasy 15, that also did episodic gaming. And the way they did that was the first game, the base game, came out fully, and then further character arcs or developing stories you could play after that as a season. You bought a season's pass, which is kind of a subscription-based thing, which a lot of these games are going towards. I bet you we see something similar to that.
yeah, and that makes sense.
So we could see a deeper delve into like Tifa's story maybe later, or into Barrett's, or I don't know. Eris would be a really interesting one if they did an episode where you play as her or something. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing that they said. They said, hey, you know what? We're doing it episodically in part because we're not going to be able to take the entire story and put it onto one game with the PS4. Right. So even though with Final Fantasy 15, it may have been episodic in a sense, the entire game got out first. We know that that's not going to be the case with 7. It's going to be at the end of the first episodic release of Final Fantasy 7 Remake, the end is not going to be beating the one-armed or the one-winged angel. Yeah. We know that's not going to be the case. So it is going to be different. I played 15. I didn't play any of the extra bonus content.
Okay.
I didn't need to.
Okay.
I beat the game, right? If I am playing 7 and I only buy one game, I'm not going to be, it's not going to be beaten, right? I'm going to have to buy the next disc or the next episode that comes out.
Yeah, I don't know.
If I want to beat the game. But Scooter, I know he said, yeah, we want to look at some of the other stories and we want to do some of this other stuff. And that is awesome. I'm just curious of how they're going to balance that with consumers who are they going to have to spend $200 to replay this game?
Yep.
I think so.
In full disclosure, I would pay $500 if need be.
See, I think so.
over
Square
time.
knows that, so they're like, so that worries me. So since they know that we are going to pay that, it's like, what do they have to lose? And I mean, they're going to put effort in to make this game. Obviously, they have put effort into making this game, but are they really going to try to make it perfect?
Perfect in which way?
The Final Fantasy VII, the originals, is perfect.
Dang near close. Now, here's the thing: is I think, like I said before, I think that these guys are aware of how this is a gutsy project. Because if you screw it up, oof.
But do they care?
Yes, I think they do. I really think that they do, and
I would hope so.
With that many
it's kinda
big
like-
names
it's
coming
good.
back to make it, I think they have to.
I guess I'm optimistic and pessimistic at the same time. Because
Yeah,
it's
it's
just like
company,
I think
company trying to make money.
company trying to make money. I think back to
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 13, but again, this unlike Final Fantasy 13, this affects their legacy more so.
okay, I am going to go this route. If this were EA, I think that they whatever
Yeah.
happens, they'll push out whatever. Game's not even done, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Square Enix and the guys that are working on this, Japanese culture is huge on honor. And I don't think that they are going to. I think they understand the gravity, and I don't think that they're going to push out a half-done or an unwell thought-out game just to get the marketing dollars for it. And I think that a lot of that culturalistic characteristic of honor, which is something big that is in Japanese society, that is going to shine through in this moment, or when this game is released. I think, like I said, I think if it's games like EA, when they pump out these game after game after game of unfinished games and bugs and this, that, and the other thing, I don't think it is going to. I don't think it's going to happen, in part because of the culture that is embedded in Square.
Yeah.
In that society. So that is my culturalistic outlook on why I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, so here's just to finish up on episodic releases, a couple of quotes on it. They said each entry will have its own unique story. As a gaming experience, each entry will have the volume of content equal to a full-size game. And then they went further to say, let's see, by splitting the game into multiple parts, the team were able to give players access to areas in the game, such as within the city of Midgar, inaccessible in the original version. Each game is planned to be on a similar scale. Each one of these, by the way, is to Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
The next thing I see on there always worries me.
Yeah.
Voice acting.
Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
so voice acting in this game, it's going to be fully voiced.
Just Wesley Snipes as Barret. Oh, it really is Blade.
The plan is for the actors from the CGI movie, I don't know if you guys saw Advent Children, to reprise their roles, although not all of them have been asked yet, and characters who were limited to cameo appearances such as Red 13 may be recast. But the main characters from Advent Children, Cloud, Tifa, Barret,
Man, I hope
probably the Turks.
I hope
love those
not
guys.
Sid.
Yeah.
Sid, they just made just a hillbilly.
It wasn't great, but they're back to reprise their roles. So some of them weren't. I thought Cloud's and Tifa's were decent voice acting.
Yeah, they were okay. They just didn't match up with what they were saying.
Yeah, no, yeah,
and I understand.
In Advent Children, yeah.
They were okay. I mean, Cloud seemed mopey, and I know that. I felt like that the voice that they played, that they gave.
Zach, I thought Zach should have been Cloud from the beginning. And I
the
mean,
guy that was Cloud should have been Squall if they ever do eight.
Yeah.
So, voice acting is always such a. Cause you look at Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts is a fun game, but my goodness,
It is. Square
voice
has
acting is
issues
terrible.
sometimes with voice acting, for sure.
And I think that we can. Well, maybe not. Final Fantasy X. Fantastic game. Some of that voice acting,
Rough.
It makes the game worse.
Yeah.
And Auron, he's great. That's a great. The voice acting for Auron is fantastic. But Titus, man, he's obnoxious. Yuna, whatever. There's just
Lulu was kind of meh.
Yeah, Waka was kind of fun, but Riku was. They play up the. I felt like they had to. They felt like, oh man, we have to make these one of a kind, ultra memorable characters for better or for worse.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how the voice acting goes in this new game.
10's a bit forgiving. That was 2001. This is 2019.
They hopefully have learned their lesson.
Yeah,
better be a lot better.
Advent Children was okay. It wasn't. It wasn't great, but then again, I don't think that the time and energy that went into Advent Children is going. I think that it's going to be way more in the remake rather than Advent Children. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be comparable. Yep. Scoot, what are some of the things that you hope this game has?
So I would love to see more of the what did they call that? The Chronicles or something of Final Fantasy VII, the compilation of Final Fantasy VII. So games like Crisis Core, Advent Children, stuff like that, tying into this and maybe even being playable in this remake. I had a lot of fun with Crisis Core. I really did. I thought it was an interesting story. Story was, kind of everywhere, but voice acting, the game, all that was fun. I love the characters in it too. So to see that in this would be super fun. Okay. I've got a lot of other wants in my wish list here, but
we'll just bounce between go one after another. Ross, what's something that you hope? Some things that you hope that you see in in the 7 remake.
15, I mean 17. So, well, we're gonna get to this later on, but I hope there's materia.
Yes.
I hope there's materia. That'll we're going to talk about what will ruin this game, but we can get to that later. And then I'm not going to steal your thunder, but I'll preview it, if you will. Okay. Those side games,
yeah,
crucial aspect.
Agreed. And I think that one of the things that I really hope that it has is I hope it has the same amount of summons. I hope that they don't say, man, this is a lot of.
There were a lot in the original game.
There were, and there were only a few in 15, and I don't know if they don't like doing the cinematics or if it was too much, but boy, I really hope that they don't cut any summons.
Well, okay, now here to real quick argue against that. The summons in 15 when they showed up, they did their job. Mm-hmm. There was no doubt that the opponent was going to get a hammer. So I appreciated that. When they came, it was heavy duty, unlike some of the summons in the original Final Fantasy VII that were just useless. It'll be interesting to see how they do that. I hope they bring them all back.
I do too.
Imagine Knights of the Round, fully remade graphics.
10 minutes long.
Or Neo Bahamut.
Give me that movie.
Yeah.
And man, there's so many things that I hope that it has. Another thing that I hope it has is one of the things I liked about 15, and it had a little bit of it in 7, but I do like side questing.
Yeah.
I do like side questing because it allows you the opportunity to.
Oh, there is material.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, good. It gives you the opportunity to explore a little bit more, and you're not railroaded into doing the main quest and just you can spend some time doing some other things, getting some items that you otherwise would not get right away, or you wouldn't get at all. And so I like the idea of side questing. I think that's fun. It's one of the reasons that I've never really finished Skyrim. Side quest. Oh, side quest. Oh, side quest. Oh, side quest.
Which is hilarious because the story in Skyrim is like 20 hours long. It's not even,
Oh, yeah. But I hope it doesn't cut any of the story in lieu of side questing, but I hope it has a little bit. I thought 15 did a good job with that. And like I said, 7 has a little bit. It's got Emmy. It's got Ruby.
Yeah.
It's got the
she's getting the black chocobo. That's a huge piece.
The Battle Arena. It's got that. It's got the tower defense to get Phoenix.
Oh, I love the tower defense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they do a good job of it, but I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more, so I can explore. Scooter, like you said, more parts maybe of Midgar or
Yeah, this world's gonna be way more detailed.
yeah.
I want a card game.
Let's talk about it.
I don't know what it would look like, but I want a card game.
The Final Fantasy VIII hit it out of the park with the card game.
So 7 never had one originally.
No, it didn't.
So do you see them adding one?
I would hope so.
I don't think they will, but
I don't
gotta
think they
be
will
awesome.
either.
I
But
don't
I just
think they're gonna add it to this one.
It's just like it could just work so well. I think just walking around Midgar slums and like, oh, want to play cards?
They
Yeah.
might do something else where you interact with NPCs like that, though.
Yeah,
I just don't know. It could. It would be fun if they did. It really would.
What was this? What was the side game in 15?
Side games in 15.
I'm sorry, like the side game. Like 10 was Blitzball.
yeah.
Hunts.
Was it Hunts?
Like I guess.
Yeah,
if you
I guess it
consider
was
that a game.
I mean, Hunts would be cool. I'd be down with Hunts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love a card game. I just thought Triple Triad was so much fun.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Tetramaster's okay, but Triple Triad, that one was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
I hope that they do that. Scooter, what's another thing Yoba has, man?
The gold saucer to return in a big way. Kind of talking to the side game stuff. That was my other note. Is I really want to see a revamped Chocobo racing, the snowboarding game, the battle arena. I enjoyed all those, plus all the other ones too. But I'd like to see that gold saucer, make a big return.
Oh, and I think that they could do that.
Yeah.
And they could do it really well.
Yeah, that's just kind of touching on the side game stuff. And then the other big thing that I really want to see is a fully fleshed out open world to explore. So remember in 15, in the original number 7, the overworld was big and it was fun to check out. I really want to see if they do an open world segment with it where you are like in 15 where you're in your car or whatever vehicle it is. I want to see that world bigger than 15. Every time I played 15, I'm like, it's big. I want it. I want the whole globe.
I want more.
I want to go around the other edge of that map and have it loop back like it used to, and
Yeah.
And so I hope they really do that right. Or it could be a linear game. I don't know. Maybe there is no overworld map in this remake.
Yeah. I don't know.
I hope the characters are reworked a little bit. Not the characters like the characters and their who they are as characters, but them in battles. Because like we've talked about this in previous episodes, but in battles, the only thing that really separated them were their limit breaks.
True.
So I'd like, a little differentiation when it comes to the character.
Sure, it
breakdowns.
wasn't the whole defined white mage,
Yeah.
red mage kind of.
Well, just make characters worth something too. Like I want to like Catsith. I want to like.
Have some usefulness for
Yeah,
them.
some usefulness. yeah.
It's megaphone.
One of the things that I know we're not getting, and it bums me out, and this might just be I'm not the market anymore. I'm not the who they're trying to go after. Is I want turn-based regular battles like 7 had. And I already know we're probably not getting it.
No, we're not
you
getting
can already
it
see it
now,
from
yeah.
the screenshot behind us.
And I knew that from the original trailer that was out, but they used the same exact engine from 15.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But the thing is about that is they've never used the same exact engine in any of the newer games. 7 and 8 were different. 8 and 9 were different. 9 and 10 were different in the way that they did it. So it makes me wonder, was that just for promotional show? Are they going to use the same exact engine? Because the way that Cloud moved in that demo was the same exact way Noctis moved
Yeah.
in his. So
Well,
it
but-
made me think, was that just a promotional thing?
I know.
I think that's legit.
I think because it's the same engine as Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep, Unreal
Yep,
Engine.
it's the
Oh.
and they are probably not gonna veer from it too much.
And I
man.
didn't think that they would. I would, because I
But I know
love
what you're
being able to
saying.
control all of the. I love being able to watch the visuals of what Bolt 3 looked like.
Mm-hmm.
I love being
Yeah.
able to see the visuals of what this limit break looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to see the movements and visuals of what it's like when somebody uses a Mega Elixir. I like watching that, and it's a little slower paced. That's fine. I dig
is,
that.
yeah.
I don't need everything to be as super fluid and to make sense. Like, I understand turn-based battles don't make sense. Why are people waiting to attack? Like, yeah, I get it. It doesn't make sense. But maybe that's, like I said, maybe I'm just not the market anymore.
Yeah.
So it's,
You're old.
I'm old. And that's why, 15, they went with essentially the Kingdom Hearts version of fighting.
Yeah.
So And that's probably what they're going to. And eventually, I think that they'll do the 9 thing and return to roots. And maybe the battle is done in that way, they return to that. But I understand they're probably not going to.
It makes me kind of interested to see how that works. So if they're using 15's battle system, so like we have it up on the board or on the screen right now, you have the attack, you have the magic, you have materia. So if it is like 15, you can switch out weapons, you can switch out magic, etc. intra-battle. So how does that work with materia? Because, okay, like weapons, for example, it's like, okay, I have a few weapons to switch out from, but like materia, that's a long list of materia.
Well, now,
potentially.
So just to draw your eyes towards something on that screenshot, look at the fact that it has an ATB meter. Mm-hmm. So that is going to be a big deal with it too, though. I don't know how the materia is going to work in this one. I hope it's a deeper system, but yeah.
I hope it is too, because they did a great job with materia. They could do more.
Yeah,
and they could not have done more in the original 7. They could do more now.
Yeah,
without ruining it, they could do more.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of things I think that we hope that it has. I hope also that they do all the original cutscenes again. Mm-hmm. That because there are some of those cutscenes that I'm just like that it has that super opening sequence, motorcycle scene. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times as a kid I go over to my grandparents and they give us a floppy disk, the 3.5-inch floppy, and I try so hard to download that and find that scene. And, the internet's so new at that point in 1997, 1998. It's like, you're not going to be able to find that. And even if you are, you're not going to be able to.
20 hours to download.
Oh, yeah, right? And it's like, that's not going to fit on a 3.5-inch floppy, please. Oh, so, yeah, there's a lot of things that you guys said that I didn't even think about that I hope it has.
Yeah.
So, and now, let's talk about it.
How are they gonna
ruin it?
Ross?
Well, I think the story, that's pretty a delicate one, because obviously they're wanting to expand, it sounds like. And the fact that making episodic that a lot can go wrong. If they do it, if it isn't perfect, it's like, well, it's all or nothing. Either it's perfect or it's complete trash.
Yep.
So that worries me a bit.
I think the consistency with the episodic releases is what worries me a lot.
Yeah.
Are the visuals and everything going to, and the engine going to be looking so much different on the first one than the last one? Make it all the same. Don't mess with it because you have the technological ability to. You know what I'm saying? It
I don't
should be
think
fluid.
The artist department would be too gung ho, like what you're saying, consistency. I don't see them changing engines halfway through.
I hope not.
Yeah.
All right, Scooter, what do you think? What's
so to touch to both your points, the story first. Well, they missed the mark with Eris this round in the episodic releases. Final Fantasy. So in 15, it missed the mark, at least in the way they portrayed the love story, big time. So it
was a little contrived. It felt.
Yeah. Will they keep things like the famous cross-dressing scene in the remake?
Here's the thing, and
or are we too? Yeah.
They said that because that was something that they talked about, and they said that they were probably going to be careful with societal norms, and that was I think a question of they were going to be delicate with things like that. But you know what? I think as they should be respectful, but Final Fantasy does. One of the things that Final Fantasy poorly does is how it objectifies and images women. Mm-hmm. If you look at 15, the mechanic, is it Cindy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you see her right away, it's like that's totally objectifying, and it's totally sexualizing, and it's inappropriate. And for them to bounce back and say, well, we're gonna be careful with things like that. It's like, well, I feel like there's other places that you could be a little wiser in the things that in the way you portray women in particular. It's very sexualizing.
It doesn't sell though.
What?
It doesn't sell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. I get that, but I think that for them to say, well, we're going to be delicate with this issue, but we're going to continue to be objectifying in another is it's
It'll
kind
be
of
interesting to see what they do with that. And then on episodic releases, I think I'm worried that they're going to have it too far apart. Happened while I was playing 15. I didn't care that I didn't want to wait 3 more months for another episode. I wanted to play now. So I'm waiting on that one to finish actually before I buy all of them.
Yeah,
because I just don't want to wait like that. Yeah.
They could ruin it too if you just have to pay for everything. And I'm sure you will. But
yeah,
with the way games are nowadays, it's either you, like you said, Scoot, earlier on, you either pay for a season pass and you buy the original game, and before you know it, you're $150 deep. And then there's other games that are like the big ones nowadays, and I'm not going to go into them, but they're free to download, and they're either pay to play, or you can pay for additional things. But essentially, if you want to, you can play the game for free.
Yeah.
So if you have to play a game, which is a remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake, that for $150 or hundreds of dollars, that's
a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I've been a loyal fan for a long time. Some people for 30 years.
Yeah.
So
don't jerk me around on this. Mm-hmm. Don't extort the game.
Yeah,
it's it reminds me of Magic the Gathering when you can extort. Yeah, just pay life for mana.
Another game based off Dungeons and Dragons, by the way.
Yeah. I some of the things that worry me about how they're going to screw it up, and I can't wait to do a show on this, is when they talk about they're going to expand and talk more about the stories and stuff like that. That always worries me how they're going to mess with the canon of the game.
Yeah.
I feel like adding after the fact, because of so much fanfic and different ideas that have come up, that it's impossible to shield yourself from if you're a producer, if you're a director, or you work on a Final Fantasy game. Say, oh, that is a cool idea. Yeah, can we get that into the game? Can we make that now a reality after the fact? Can we? I don't want to all of a sudden find out because it's cool and because people have talked about it that somehow Yuffie and Zell are distant cousins or something like that. I don't want to. That's not. I don't like that. I feel like sometimes you try and tie things into. You try and make things happen after the fact because somebody goes, oh, wouldn't that be cool? Oh, there's this conspiracy theory that says yada yada yada, and then they make it happen in later games, or they make it say, oh, this is how it is.
Right.
And I don't like that. I think it messes with the canon. I saw something the other day where somebody said something about I think that J.K. Rowling tweeted out something that somebody loves Black Hermione, saying that, because somebody's saying, well, Hermione wasn't black, Hermione was white. And J.K. Rowling, she chirped in and said, oh, no, Dumbledore loved Black Hermione, and you go back in the book and it'll be like Hermione's white pale face was, and I feel like it's trying to change that canon after the fact. Mm-hmm. And whether Hermione's black, Asian or Indian or white, that doesn't matter to me. But the fact of the matter is she's feeling like she's trying to change it after the fact to fit a certain narrative that, and messing with the canon like that is lame. I don't like that. And I'm worried that they're going to mess with the canon a little bit because they have the opportunity to expand on some stories. They're going to mess with the canon a little bit.
And if they're going to try and really tie in all this compilation stuff, I mean, they have to add and hear things here and there. It could get messy.
It could. And and the other thing that my bold prediction is that somehow, and this is going to sound wild, somehow, some way, Aerith, depending on what you call her, she's not going to die, or it's not going to be permanent. Something is going to happen, whether she doesn't die in the right spot that we know at the Temple of the Ancients, or there's going to be a way to resurrect her in a post game kind of they're gonna miss on that because it's so obvious that it's coming. Everybody knows that it's coming. Do you think that is something that they will not mess with? I know that they said that they're not going to, but I also feel like that is the perfect opportunity for them to be like, here's another hook.
That would ruin the game.
Yeah, that would.
I think
that's too big of a risk.
Yeah, too big of a risk, I think.
That's my bold prediction is somehow they're going to mess with it a little bit. Even if it's just a little, it's going to be noticeable enough where it's going to be a hook somewhere else.
Or maybe it's going to be something so small that they see it, and we're going to have another conspiracy episode with Ross where that sword really did go all the way through.
Yeah, it went through her heart.
Or
Easy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of one of the things I think of. I think that we pretty much, if you're stoked about Final Fantasy VII as we are, like everything that is going to happen, when it is going to happen, and can they afford to create a game that is going to do everything, every main point exactly by the book as it was done in 1997? I don't know. I don't know that they can, and I don't know that they will.
Well, what do they lose if they do?
Yeah,
I'll have already bought the game.
For sure. Yeah, and I understand that, but I think that there's probably a part of them that wants to have that creative element to make gamers go, wow, just beyond the wow factor of Final Fantasy in an upgraded realm.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's going to be something that they maybe mess with. I don't know. We'll see.
It'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to it either way. I'm not looking forward to the combat, but I'm looking forward to the game.
The combat in 15 I enjoyed because I went into it knowing it was going to be different.
Yeah.
I went into 12 the first time I played it, and I didn't enjoy it because I didn't know it was going to be that different.
I like 12 more than 15 with combat. I don't know why. 15 just felt like a button mash game. I had no prep in any fight. It was just like either I win or, come back and you get a different weapon. Like that.
Yeah.
It's too easy, I guess.
The button mashing was.
It's just too easy.
Yeah, it was very Kingdom Hearts, and I hope that they do make some renovations to it, so it's not as just jam, or he's dead. But I went into it with a different perspective. I knew it was going to be different, which allowed me to appreciate it more.
Sure.
The first time I went into 12, I went into
you
it.
You were ready for Final Fantasy turn-based.
I was. That's what I wanted. And I was like, what is this? I'm playing an MMO right now.
I love 12, yeah.
And the next time I played 12, I went into it with a more open mindset, and I go, this is awesome. Love it. So it all comes with, the attitude you go into the game with.
Very true.
I'd love to see it turn-based.
Got a lot of high expectations, though, Cole.
Yeah. Oh man, if they swing and miss on this one, it's like, dude, you kidding me?
Come on, Griffey. We want 95 Griffey back, not.
Yeah. I love Griffey, but I don't want 2009 Griffey back.
Right. Yeah.
Hitting $190.
Oof.
Yeah. So. Well, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of original workers on this game, and that excites me. It's not some new fresh batch of people who grew up just enjoying it and
tried making their name for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that they realize if we screw this up, it hurts the franchise.
Oh yeah.
And we can't. This is the one that they can't screw up. I mean
it's Final Fantasy VII.
It's Final Fantasy VII. You screw it up, and you're out of a job.
Yep, I would hope so.
You're done.
I would hope so. I'll fire them myself.
Thank you. All right. We got anything else?
No, I think just to let everyone out there know that we will continue to keep you updated on this. We want to do a full show before it came out, and probably we'll do another one as it comes out, and let you know release dates and all that jazz with Colin's News. So
this is going to be one of those that when it comes out, it's like, all right, all other episodes to the back of the line.
Yep.
Nothing else.
We're doing we're doing Final Fantasy VII.
Yep. So we got everybody caught up though to the remake.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been real.
It's been fun.
It's been real fun. We will see you again here shortly, hopefully, and hope you enjoy it. And if you do, we'll just keep listening.
Yeah, keep doing that.